Hello, people. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. We are live. We are here. Arsenal have beaten Everton 1-0 due to a penalty. But let's be real. It wasn't great. It was shocking to say the least. The result, well, at least 3 points are on the board. That's all we can be happy about. I'm not gonna lie. Besides that, nothing too exciting. Let's just put it that way. Nothing too exciting if we are looking from that perspective. VAR robbed. I'm not gonna lie. It fully robbed Everton without shadow of a doubt. They should have had a penalty. The game, you could argue, should have finished 1-1. It should have finished 1-1. Another stinkfest. But at least 3 points are on the board, I guess. I guess we are still on top of the table. Well, for lack of a better word, let's just say for now. Let's just say it for now. So yeah, people, we're gonna talk about that. Smash the likes, subscribe if you're new, and let's go from there. Big up, Marlon. Big up. Arteta out. Number one on Christmas list. At least number one in the table for now. Big up, Hendon. Big up. But it's Everton one. It was stinkfest with my no. To be honest, it was a bit better than it was against Wolves. I'm not gonna lie. It was a bit better than it was against Wolves. But overall, let's be real, it was nothing to be too excited about, to say the least. Nothing to be too excited about. It was actually kind of a shocker, to say the least. Gyökeres was discussing Halgan. Yeah, I think he was a bit annoyed that he got taken off. Definitely, he was annoyed that he got taken off. That goes without saying. The bigger questions are, where is Eze? Where is Madueke? Man of the match performance against Club Brugge, 2 goals, a banger of a goal. What's his reward? Hold the bench for the next games. Don't even get to show on the pitch. Those are the bigger questions. Let's be real. Rotation again, first sub in 80th minute. What's that about? Like, same things, same issues, same stuff going all around. He won't get sacked. He won't. One of the reasons why the Saliba kick on Barry was not given as penalty was because Saliba was being pulled back by Barry at the time. Saliba was trying to kick the ball. So what? At the end of the day, it was Arteta's 6-year anniversary. Bigger chances than not. That's why he didn't get the penalty than anything. But yeah, Barry pulled him back. But every single game you see these being given as penalties on quite large scale. Quite often. Many times. Somehow this game, it wasn't a penalty. Go figure out why. Genuinely, go figure why. Let's be real. Go figure why. 100% better than Wolves, but the missed chance are not passing to Gyökeres when Timber and Saka. Yeah, there was the case that Timber could have easily squared across goal to Gyökeres for emptying a tap-in. He decided to pass it backwards to Saka, which still created a very good chance to score, to say the least. And Saka basically fluffed the shot. At the end of the day, Saka again screwed up and fluffed the shot, to say the least. Like, it wasn't great. Saka is selfish, yeah. And Timber not passing to Gyökeres. Yeah, but I guess we have to... I don't want to accept it. I don't want to be okay with that. But it looks like that's how it's going to be now. It genuinely looks like that's how it's going to be right now. Arsenal are going to play. We're going to struggle. We're going to stink out some results. There will be lack of passing to Gyökeres, lack of chance creation, and it will be more focused on Arteta's favorite love child, as Saka, as Odegaard, maybe even, and players like that. It won't be to Gyökeres. Like, you have to accept that, I guess. And that is the biggest issue. Mikel Arteta's favorites are still running the show. And it's also very evident that Eze and Madueke, why they didn't play, because there are no excuses why they should not play, even for half an hour. Even for half an hour or 20 minutes. Oh, they're going to play against Crystal Palace. But that's not why you have the squad. You have to rotate. You have to sum them off and on. You have to do the things. You have to do the job at the end of the day. And, well, we didn't. Because if Eze and Madueke don't start against Palace, like, what was the point of them not playing 2 games in a row, especially Madueke? Eze played a tiny bit, but Madueke hasn't touched the pitch pretty much at all in 2 games after that man-of-the-match performance. But that has been Arteta's DNA. He has done it with Emil Smith-Rowe. He has done it with Wellesley Skelly. He has done it with Trossard. He's done it before, and to be honest, to some degree, I'm not surprised he's done it again. Like, it's it's one of those signature Arteta things that he does on quite consistent scale, and that is a very, very worrying sign as we move on forwards. Palace finally look like prime, but I don't know. Palace just got destroyed by Leeds, but I fully expect them to be quite the opposite against us. I genuinely expect that. I expect Crystal Palace to look straight opposite against us when we play them on Tuesday, without shadow of a doubt. They're gonna be on it, they're gonna be for it, and they're gonna try and destroy us, to say the least. They're gonna be full on out for revenge and results. Big up G Wills, big up. Some guys on the team want to be the hero all the time. That's not fucking possible. They are hurting the progress in our team, and yeah, exactly. Football at the end of the day is a team sport, and to be selfish, you have to carry a specific level to be even credited to such an ability that on occasion you can afford to be selfish. But none of players in our team have deserved that, have earned it. Let's just put it that way. This is a team sport. We struggle to score goals many times as it is. And the more selfish we become, the less of a chances there are going to be that we're going to score those goals. Because let's be real, there were, again, about 3-4 chances where we could have passed it for empty net tap-in, and we decided not to. We decided to do something different. God forbid, pass backwards sometimes. And again, ruining the momentum of the attack, ruining the chance, and ruining the progress of the attack in general. Big up Kwaja. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Morocco against Comoros, it's 0-0 at halftime. AFCON has kicked off. Let's see how that's going to look like over the next few weeks. Big up Mubarak, big up players through there are special from Arsenal players, though, that there are special from. I don't know what Arsenal are doing. I genuinely have no idea what the Arsenal players are doing or are not doing, because it's like we kind of, sometimes we basically are our own worst enemy. At the end of the day, it's Arsenal versus themselves in the title, and it looks like we are starting to basically screw ourselves up somehow. Nobody gives damn about Odegaard. He's mid, don't know how to pass and suck his finish. He can't score or shoot. Heck, he even dribble past again, misses any. It is annoying. It is us play Arteta can do playing bars. We're gonna make Palace look very good. I somehow have that feeling. Hakimi, Diaz, what y'all doing? Big up, Havrat. Hope you're doing well. Big up. Hope Sunday is treating you well. Hope you're not too disappointed with the Arsenal result. Well, with the result, maybe per se not. With the performance, 100%. 100% with the performance. It was crap, but it is what it is, I guess. Just this game was scrappy. But yeah, 3 points on the board. Fantastic. That's fantastic. 3 points on the board and everything, that is great. But at the end of the day, the performance and everything didn't show it almost at all. Yes, we hit the post. Yes, we had some chances to maybe do something, but we didn't. Again, we didn't. And that is the biggest worry at the end of the day. And because that has been one of the biggest downfalls, because when we look good, we look on it, and it's very hard to stop us. But when we are not on it, and when we create those chances, we just look like we look like Bambi on ice. We are bumbling our own 2 feet at the end of the day. Big up, Ryan. Big up. Yeah, Gyökeres looked quite decent yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, Gyökeres looked decent. Gyökeres did look decent. A bit better than usual, I just put it that way. But this is, again, the issue with Arsenal to many levels. We have seen the players, how good they can be. For the longest time, they've been performing, let's just say, below their standards, below par. And to some degree, you have become to expect these below par performances, that they do anything about that level of uselessness or this awfulness, they look amazing to some degree. That is another big worry. The lower you put your expectations, the better you feel when that specific player or specific thing overachieves those expectations at the end of the day. Game was game. Arteta, no chance in hell he was convincing. Nowhere close. That Trossard shot was so bad. Martinelli would put a goal. Martinelli, like, that is the case. Martinelli would, but at the same time, you don't know. We don't know. Overall, it's a very, very big mystery at the end of the day if he would, because Martinelli, again, he's such a hit and miss. It's actually nuts. Arsenal looked like 14 draws and 4 losses Arsenal last season. Yeah, and against Wolves, even worse. I was told, stop complaining about our performances with Everton because it says performance that brought back top of the table. I told them that I hope these type of performances keep us there. That is the biggest thing. As long as we get the results done, As long as we get the 3 points on the board, right? We can complain about performance, but 3 points are 3 points. They're on the board. We are on top of the table. It's all great. But long term, this is not sustainable. It's going to bite us in the ass at some point, big time. And we're going to feel the consequences of that long term. It's going to happen. Because this is Arsenal, and we have seen this before happen time and time again. And that, for me, is the biggest worry. And that is going to happen at some point, especially if somebody else gets injured on a very soon. Zubimendi looks so tired. Yeah, Zubimendi and Rice, they both look gassed quite heavily. Big up, Dr. Seymour. Big up. Hope you're doing well. This league is not for... Yeah, he didn't definitely look great. He definitely didn't look great. One difference is that Christmas every year second. This year we are first. Yeah, but 2 points above City, 3 points above Aston Villa. It's not like we are miles ahead. One wrong result and it's done. Let's be real. We play Aston Villa before the end of the year. If we lose that game, or God forbid draw, we are not first anymore. It will change that quickly. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, Trossard is still better than Martinelli, 100%. Arsenal being top at Christmas twice before and finished second in May. Well, that's Arsenal's signature move. Getafe is like Arsenal in La Liga. To be honest, Getafe plays better football at times. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it's much better and watch them. And that is the case. Let's just put it that way. So we'll see how that's going to go. But overall, it's definitely not great. But we'll see how that's going to go. And we're going to see how that's going to, as Arteta says, evolve and all this stuff. If they don't get rest, they will get injured very badly. We are not far from that. We are already in the red zone. And the thing is about this is the fact that the difference between the red zone and injury is very small. And one wrong turn, one wrong tackle, one wrong kick of a ball, one not enough well-executed warm-up, per se, it can result in big issues. Definitely can result in big issues. Let's just put it that way. Check some stats. We were never first on the... We haven't been first. In those terms, we haven't been first fully. Once, yes, I think not. I don't think both times. I think just once. On top of that. But overall, yeah, that is a big difference. My camera is doing another Mazza. That is a big difference that at the moment we are first. But it's not like we are convincingly first. We are first by 2 points. It's literally nothing at the end of the day. Yeah, Rice doesn't get subbed off. Saka doesn't get subbed off. It's actually very worrying. Some Gooners are like Liverpool fans at the start of the season. What happened to Liverpool after that? Well, we are still on for the quad, according to Top Gooners and all this stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. Brighton and Villa next. They won't be easy. Exactly. And Crystal Palace in between. It could get quite bad. Brighton is our bogey team, whether you like it or not. Playing against Villa is always tough for us, home and away, and everything. And so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how that develops. 23-24, we were not first due to the sheer fact that we went 1-7 in December and all this stuff. So in the 23-24 season, we could not be first. We were like that. That's the biggest thing. We could not be first in that season. In 22-23 season, by game week, I would say 17 again. Where is game week 17? Game week 17, Arsenal were top of the table. 5 points ahead of City. In 22-23 season, we were first by 5 points. Right now, we are first by 1. We have no. We were first in 22-23 season when we were blitzing teams like no tomorrow. We were second 23-24 season because we went 1-7 in December, and that really screwed our mojo up big time. Well, to be honest, 23-24 as well, we were first. Wait, see? Share this, and here we are. Should be like this. 23-24 season, see? Game week 17. Let's do the same game week as we are right now. Arsenal were first in 23-24 season by 1 point above Liverpool. 23-24 season. And 22-23 season, we were first by 5 points. So we've been first every single game week 7. It's 15 even, not 17. For fuck's sake. Game week. I need 17 matches. Yeah, 17 matches. See, Arsenal were first in 22-23 season. And 23, I think we were second. Yeah, in 23-24 season, we were second by 2 points. We were second by 2 points. So we were first, and we have been second. Basically, we have been first once and second once. We have not been first both times. Just like that. Stat merchants at Arsenal love. Yeah, stat merchants for Odegaard to excuse everything. Arsenal were top of Christmas 22, 03, 07, 13, 23. We were top of the league at New Year's Eve in 2015-16. Yeah, and we haven't done anything. Let's just put it that way. The reason I remember is Cecil from AFTV had that t-shirt showing Arsenal top in the Prem in 22-23. Yeah, 22-23, we were just annihilating teams. We were playing expensive, attacking, beautiful football and everything. So we were good. By the way, Doctor, I sent you the link, by the way. I sent you the link on WhatsApp, yeah? If you have a second, you can definitely jump on. But yeah, 22-23, we were 5 points clear. 5 points clear. And then, yeah. When do we usually give it away? Let's check this. Let's check this. Game week, I would say 23. Yeah, 23. And the season before as well, game week 23. Yeah, basically late January. Late January, we usually give it away. We usually do it like mid-late January, early February. We tend to give it all away most of the time. Ironically, it kind of coincides with the fact that somebody gets injured, or we just absolutely screw it all up. We just can't do anything to save our lives. Jenny, a few times March, April too. Yeah. And so it was May. Yeah. We mostly give it away early in the year, January, February. Then sometimes mid-late March. May is a very rare occasion. Yeah. Game week 17 varies, but I'm just going by game week 17 based on that we have currently played 17 games right now in Premier League and we are still first. I basically vary by that. But Arsenal usually the time when we basically fall and falter and basically decline are the same. Late January, early February, sometime during March or towards the last 5 games of the season. It's usually the same ones. It's usually the same ones. Let's just put it that way. Really impressed by Leeds. Yeah, Leeds were one of those teams for me, together with Sunderland, that are not gonna go down. For me, Leeds are one of those teams that I thought are going to stay up, and Burnley was the prime candidates to go down. Once we get till the end of the season, we're gonna do the Premier League predictions table. We're gonna look at it back, and it's definitely not gonna be pretty because some of those already, I can tell you, I have screwed up big time. Let's just put it that way. We play like a team who just came. Yeah, that is the nut part. Against Wolves, especially, and against Everton to some degree as well. We played like relegation candidate team, which by default is not a great sign. Definitely, it is not a great sign, and it is not looking great. Let's just put it that way, to say the least. And that is, for me, the biggest worry. Let's just put it that way. That, for me, is the biggest worry. Now, people, I just have to say, in about 10 minutes, I'm expecting a delivery, right? And once it comes, I will have to disappear for a minute or so. Game week 17 varies. Yeah, last night's match convinced me. Yeah, exactly. It didn't convince me. And we have royalty in the house. Hide your backsides, people. Hide your backsides, because the session is in business.
Big up to you, man. You know what? Actually, inversely, instead of hide your backsides, run to my office and show me your backsides. Pause, but big up to you, Rabo. How you doing today?
Good. Arsenal won. That's all I can ask for. Let's ignore the rest of the stuff. 3 points on the board. Let's just put it that way.
3 points is 3 points. Amen to that, man.
Yeah. You good? All good?
I mean, supporting this a-hole club, is I mean, someone had mentioned, that we're in some type of like social experiment. I'm wondering if we had fucked up in live times past, that that we're now being forced to endure such nonsense. So I don't know, man. I just want finality, right? I need conclusiveness at this stage, like either win us something or get the fuck out of the club.
At the end of the day, yeah. Do you think we're gonna win something?
No chance. At least not with the not with the bus driver we have currently.
So Tuesday it's gonna be and the end, yeah.
So Palace. Well, I mean, like, I personally rate Glasner over Arteta. Again, and Glasner does know how to get a result over us. I think they're a little bit more mentally engaged in competing, like for these cups, since they're not really going for the league. They're not going for the Champions League either. Oh, big up to the link as well. Big up to the chat. I think they have more intention to win than we do. But if we do get past them, I still think getting past Chelsea is going to be a difference. Is going to be a different animal.
Uh, well, depending how Chelsea looks, though, depending on Chelsea, how they're gonna look. But overall, I'm not too excited about Tuesday. Let's just put it that way. Not too excited. Yes, they just got smashed by Leeds, absolutely annihilated. Let's just put it that way. At the same time, I kind of feel like it's gonna sound dumb to say, but bigger fish to fry. Like nobody expects Crystal Palace to be up there in the top 6, top 10 more often than not, even though they play very nice football. But the cups is something they focus on now under Glasner and before quite nicely, and I think it's gonna be a very serious focal point for them. Let's just put it that way. Whether it's Carabao Cup right now when they still are in it, or Conference League or something like that. I think it could be a very tough one for Arsenal to a tough cookie to crack. Let's just put it that way. Because also when we played against Brighton, it wasn't confident in the first 20 minutes. We could have been easily like 3-4 nothing down. Like it definitely could.
And I think no, I'm sorry.
No, all good, all good, all good. Say your thoughts. Say your
No,
mind.
no, I was just gonna say, like to piggyback on what you're saying, like considering that we have looked so offensively lackluster the last two matches that we've played, and there hasn't really been any type of inflection point, right? There hasn't been any type of evidence in the last 180 some odd minutes of gameplay that we know how to put a ball into the net, um, and and I mean, like, look, it's okay if we get 3 points now, but like, can't be doing this consistently, and it's not to say that we haven't seen performances like this rather over the years either, right? So it really just begs the question, like, what on God's green earth are they doing, like, during training? Like, what are they what are they not training and talking about, like, during practice, like, rather, like, in between the matches, that are that are that are getting them over this hump? But even furthermore, like, how is the manager not stamped out these types of performances? Like, how do we still have this in our locker? I mean, I understand, I appreciate that, we're not going to be flying every single match, but to put performances like that against Wolves and Everton, nah, that's not any silverware a winning team that I've seen before.
Yeah. One goal that's from a penalty in 180 minutes. Well, you can say over 200 minutes, including added time. Not great. Not great, especially with two own goals from Wolves and everything. But looking back at the Everton game, how you feel?
I
Now the
mean,
24 hours have passed, basically.
I mean,
Right?
as I mentioned to Northside yesterday, like, I felt well rested after that match because I was able to get a nice long siesta. Like, watching Arsenal versus Everton. I mean, like, it put me to sleep, and that's why I said, like, I beg for conclusivity at this point. Like, I beg for finality. Like, I need, like, it sounds very selfish, but, like, I personally need to see success. Again, success isn't table placement. Success isn't, you know all of these like fakakta, like endeavors, like whether it be like practicing in the dark, whether it be like playing You Never Walk Alone, whether it be like bringing in pickpockets or anything like that, it just like there's just a track record, right? There's been so much history over time that has suggested that this manager hasn't got the foggiest idea of what he's doing, and we're and simultaneously people are telling us that this is the greatest they've ever seen Arsenal. I mean, like it is like there is such it is. I mean, like the experiences are it's literally like the letter K, right? I mean, like it is a K-shaped experience. But no, I mean, like it's only a matter of time, and as we know, once we get to May, there's going to be some finality. Like either we're going to see silverware or we're going to see a pink slip.
Think we're gonna see a silverware?
No, which is why I'm absolutely banking on the pink slip.
All the money on that one at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this. I mean, I know we kind of talked about it before, but I mean, but with this, I guess, like with these like ongoing like lackluster performances offensively, do you think Berta is gonna look and say, you know what, maybe we need to sign someone in January, whether it be on a loan to an obligation or whether it just be just a like a direct transfer?
I think he might, but I'm banking more on a loan than anything. Loan with option, loan with obligation, something like that. I think he might. For a full-on signing, I'm not too sure that Kroenkes will sign off for that, based on past experiences. Saying that, if we sell someone, I can see us buying someone, potentially. Obviously, depends on who we sell. Because if we sell someone random, nobody cares. If we sell someone like Martinelli, who knows, right? Jesus or someone like that, I can see then something. I can see something happening then. But if we just sell someone like, I don't know, Tommy Setford or something like that, come on, man, what are we doing here? But I expect a loan at least, because we are in this gap where we can loan in few players. So maybe we can do someone. But then again, loaning in player, you're not gonna loan in anyone good. Best case scenario, squad player rotation. And looking at how we rotate with these players, what's the point? To some degree, unless you have a body in the team, just for the sheer volume of the players in the team at the end of the day. So yeah. But overall, I would expect a loan, but at the same time, wouldn't be surprised if we do the usual Arsenal thing and we just are linked with, again, everyone, despite how Papastos would be like 100 million guildis in January, and we're going to get no one. Would not be surprised, though.
Yeah, those are good points. I mean, like, what like as you were just mentioning, the first thing that just came to mind is that like usually in December we're typically hearing a lot of like transfer rumors, like with everyone like across every league in the universe like getting linked to us, but hasn't really been that way this December, has it? It's been
Well,
I mean maybe like aside like the few like Semenyo and Rodrigo, and maybe even like that
Yildiz
Mendoza
has
kid.
been. Yildiz
And
has
Yildiz
been
everywhere.
linked.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know. Like it seemed as if it hasn't been as frequent, perhaps. Like
Yeah,
as it was in years past.
but still ways to go. Let's just put it that way. We'll see what's going to happen in a week or so. I think the closer it's going to come, the more we might see something, potentially. Let's just put it that way, depending on situation. Now, I have an order coming in and I need to disappear for a few minutes. So you will have to hold the fort.
So be it. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to London Colney Renal Center, where where we are about to put on the gloves here and show you like like what's good. But until then, smash the likes. Big up everyone for being here. Get your thoughts in the chat. Are we going to be doing anything in January? Like are we getting over the line this season? Like what are we doing? Why are we here? Like, are there players in the squad that you don't rate? Because I'm gonna tell you this right now. Right out of the gate, Martin Odegaard, forget it. I don't rate him for absolutely nothing. Especially when I've seen attacking midfielders here at the Emirates, that Odegaard can't even hold a candle to. But again, I'm just waffling here. So again, let me know what you think. Let us know what you think. Um, Let me try to get into the comments here. I mean, unfortunately, I cannot show them, but I'll just read them out. Looks like Morocco's up 1-0. Um, King Op J, true, but almost any coach can be better than Arteta. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I mean, I was just saying it the other day. You could go out in the street right now, right? You could go outside. You could find a random stranger. You could give them 6 years, £1 billion to spend, give them unlimited patience, give them unbound authority and support at the club. They're matching everything that Arteta has done in the last 6 years. There's just no way around it. But if we were to, and if we look at the next scale, right, the mid scale, like if we gave like a Steve Bruce, an Alan Pardew, Sam Allardyce, um, Owen Coyle, Ian Holloway, um, Roberto Martinez, come on, like that, like Roy Hodgson, like any of that managerial ilk, you give them everything that Mikel has been given, they're at least winning a trophy in that time span. Like granted, they were never dealing with like teams like of the caliber as Arsenal, but they have the experience and they also have like the talent ID and they also had a specific style to them. And then latter, last but not least, you go for a manager that like is the creme de la creme, top shelf. Uh, they're
Sam
doing rather
Allardyce.
right. But you give a manager with the winning pedigree and experience of quality man management and game management, they are winning silverware in half the time with half the money spent. And still to this day there are people saying that, people are saying that they love Arteta. Like, I mean, like, love is such a strong emotion, Robbo. It's as if like they're putting this manager not only onto such a pedestal for having achieved nothing as both a player and a manager for this club, and furthermore, like they're telling us that we have the agenda, that we would rather be proven right and not see us win anything than be proven wrong to see us win trophies, which is all we're moaning about. This is that's all, or at least rather, that's all I'm complaining about. I certainly don't want to speak for yourself, but I mean that's what I've been complaining about. What I mean? You know what? I'm so glad, like, through this waffle, and I'm gonna cap it up right here. Um, Half volley yesterday, on Northside Stream made a fantastic point. We have we've been this club has been around since 1886, right? That is 140 years, and we have won 13 Premier League trophies. I do believe we are talking about one league title per every 10 years, statistically speaking. If we were to sparse it out across the
Yeah.
across the entire era, we're talking about one league title every 10 years. The fact that we're now going 20 years without a league title just goes to show how much the club in and of itself, not just Arteta, but the club in and of itself, has been in stagnation the last 15, 20 years. Like, we did not get over the line in 07, 08. We did not get over the line in 2013, 14, or in 15, 16. And by that point, or rather, like, Wenger should have been sacked by then, and we should have brought in Klopp. And then just more recently in 22, 23, and 23, 24. I mean, our experiences over the last 20 years have been traumatic. Not only, rather, to the entire club psyche, and and just for the fact that we have gone on for so long without winning anything, I think people have become so desensitized to what it feels like to win. And they're happy with a top four trophy. They're happy with an FA Cup trophy. They're happy with a Community Shield trophy. They're happy with a top of the league in the Prem and in the Champions League in December trophy. happy with the best therapy dog trophy, happy with, beating Real Madrid in the quarters trophy. I mean, like they are lifting up, they're lifting up pyrite trophies. It's fool's gold that they are celebrating. And rant.
Yeah, yeah. But that is the case. The longer your, let's just say, your standards are getting lower and lower and lower, the more you start to expect that as the measuring mark. And then if you overachieve it, let's just say top four was the standard, now we finished second, it feels like whole new territory, something unexplored. It's something unique, never done before, something special. And it's always, fuck's sake, the camera. And it's always like that. And now all of a sudden we need to win. Because as soon as we win, we will demand more wins, more trophies, more majors. And after that, if they don't win, we're gonna be the fan base is gonna become even more loud, and they don't want that. At the end of the day, they don't want that. And why do these players still play for Arsenal? Well, it's a job, it's a nice payday, very nice payday. Let's just say for what they are getting paid, and I've been subject to that. Let's be real. I have worked jobs where let's be real, I didn't want to work, but it's a payday. It keeps me afloat. It keeps paying the bills. It keeps doing everything. Let's just put it that way. And if you can do it, you do it. At the end of the day, you do whatever it takes to support yourself, your family, your, I don't know, cousins and everything. If you need to do that, and let's be real, there are many players in this club that will not get anywhere near what they are getting now in any other team. Let's just put it that way.
Say that louder for the cheap seats in the back, Robbo. Say that again, because I'm not entirely sure if people entirely heard that front to back.
Here you go again. It's a nice payday, and it's a very big thing that many players in this club are not gonna get paid the same in anywhere else than they're getting paid here. Because it's not a surprise that Calafiori went from what 12,000 to 120,000 in one transfer. Kivior went from 2 grand to 60 grand a week and everything. It's Merino went from 52 to 130, 140, and it's always like that. And Jesus is the best one. He went from like, I don't even remember. Jesus went from like 70, 80 grand to 260. Like, how does that work out even? On which merits? Yeah, he won Premier League. Maybe that's why he can put it as a bargaining chip on the table, but at some point, like, cut the losses,
Yeah,
like,
you're absolutely right. And I'm sure Ralbo, like yourself as well as myself, as well as pretty much everyone, right? We have all had a job in our life where we have said, yeah, the pay is great, but everything else about this place sucks. My coworkers suck, my boss sucks, the place where I work at sucks, but the pay is phenomenal. And and I'm going to stick it out for this contract just so that I can establish financial security in the long term, and maybe I'll be able to win a trophy along the way. But especially how cost of living standards have changed over the last 30 years. Players have now put more of a greater emphasis on their financial outcomes as opposed to their trophy outcomes. I think there are still players that do want to win silverware, but I think that the financial aspect has a greater factor than it did in the past. There was even a thought that came to mind as well recently. Not only with the likes of Calafiori, but also with the likes of Christian Nogard, who went from a 30K thousand a week contract to an 80K thousand a week contract. So basically he's making 30K more than El Neni was, and he's half the player El Neni was. And people didn't really rate El Neni outside of just outside of a squad filler. Yeah, I have a feeling that some of these players have been low-key bribed to come here and play for Arsenal. I could imagine someone saying, "Why would I want to come play for a novice manager with a shit ton of PR talking about squeezing lemons and journeys and processes? Oh, you're saying that you'll pay me 10 times more than what I'm making? Okay, why not?"
who wouldn't take that bet? 10 times the salary. Like extra 0 at 10, it's always nice. Let's be real. For me, even if
Right.
I look at the salaries, it to some players it feels weird, but to some players, like we just signed, where is it? Re-signed Gabriel Magalhaes to a new deal, right? He was on something like 80, 90 grand. On which universe he's now getting 150 grand only?
Mhm.
Only 150K. And then you look like he's getting less than Martinelli, Ben, and who else is there? Well, obviously, Odegaard, lol, Havertz, Jesus, and all these men. He's getting on the same level as Madueke, apparently, as Ben White,
Mm.
just short of Merino and Calafiori. And Gabriel arguably is our, I would say, top 3 most important players in the team.
I mean, like, just as well. I mean, like, it's a damning reflection of how poor the financial mismanagement has been, right? So the fact that we have given 280k to our favorite overpaid pack mule with 4 right hooves, the fact that we had given Odegaard this much bread, the fact that we have given Jesus so much bread, the fact that we gave Nani Madueke a wage on par with Gabriel, like
Yeah.
that is, credit where credit's due. Like if Gabriel isn't feeling a type of way about that, but I most certainly would be. I mean, I would most certainly be feeling a type of way, considering like, I'm arguably like one of like Arsenal's like most potent forces in the final third. I'm a rock at the back. I mean, he is a character that we like, that is sorely missed.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
for me, the not the like people I don't think fully realize long-term consequences on this, because we had the ability, technically speaking, to elevate Gabriel's salary from 90 to 150, right? But we, for example, cannot, there is no room to elevate a tiny bit salary for Saka. He was on what, 190, he's now going to get 300. He's not going to get less. Like, you cannot remove the salary. That's instantly going to hurt him, and he's going to basically hand in transfer request, let's be real. But that is the thing, the salaries can only go up, they're not going to go down. And if you instantly sign a player to such a high salary, which goes already into near 200s, if you want to extend his deal, by letter of the law, he's going to have to become one of the the best paid players in the team, not overlooking the fact that he might be basically the 12th man of the bench, or he could be just a simple, let's just say, role player to some degree in the team. And that is actually hurting us right now.
And even and even further downstream to that, like, it's also hurting us in the sense that we cannot offload these players either, right? The issue with Gabriel Jesus is that the teams that he wants to play for are most likely not going to take a punt on him, simply because, like, he's been injured, he's been out of form. It would be very much taking a gamble on a player, nearing the end of his career, coming off significant injuries. And the teams that would be interested in Jesus, they can't afford his wages.
Yeah,
And we're talking about like clubs in Brazil, whether it be like Fluminense or Sao Paulo or Grêmio. I mean, like, they're not, or like Flamengo, or pretty much like any club in South America. Unless they make him like a luxury player, it's not gonna be viable. So, Berta could be stuck with another situation of, like, is it more cost effective to get this player off the books so that we can go forward, as a club, or do we have to squeeze the lemon dry and try to get as much as we can
yeah,
out of a player.
yeah. A bit of a side note, I just read David Ornstein posted that Isak is going to be out for at least 2 months after that
Mm,
tackle from Romero. That's not insane. I read, was it
mm.
yesterday, I think, Arsenal apparently, according to Toto Juve, and we all know how reliable are those sources in Italy, let's just put it that way, Arsenal offered a swap deal, Jesus for Jonathan David. which on paper sounds pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. Let's just put it that way. Because I actually wanted Jonathan David at Arsenal when he was available for free. Let's just say it as it is.
That he was available on a free. I swear to Christ, Rob. I mean, like this club operates in pretzel logic. It really does.
Yeah, and Juventus rejected the deal, not because of wages, but because of injuries. Because of injuries only.
And
also,
like Jonathan David's a quality player too. Like he's versatile, and again, like he was available on a free. Like we could have gotten him before he went to Italy. Yeah, like, I mean, like, and he wasn't even on the radar. Like, and that's like, so I mean, like, I'm so long gone are those days now. You know, like, with the likes of Berta and Michele.
Although saying that, yeah, at Juventus he is on 190 grand almost a week.
180,000 euros, right? I imagine
100 and he's on like 190,000 euros, 188,000 pounds, or something weird like that. He's nearly almost just shy of 200 grand a week. Which, yeah. But he's available at least. He's not getting injured.
Right? Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, it's a high wage, but you know, like we have no problems giving high wages to players. Yeah. You know, so I mean, like, is he an upgrade? Is he an upgrade on Martinelli?
Well, can he play left wing? There's very hard, to be honest, to get an upgrade on Martinelli because he's the best defensive left winger in the world. Like, it's very hard to do that. Let's be real.
God, that is a horrible title to say. He's the best defensive left winger in the world.
But it is. It's like FIFA settings when you go play career mode or even Ultimate Team and you see a left winger and his work rates are low offensive and high defensive work rate. Like, it's something like that.
He had like the track back badge or something. You mean?
Something.
That's funny as shit, Robo. Fucking low high. Jesus Christ.
I've seen those. I was playing FIFA sometimes. It's on career mode, but also in olden days. Like it was nuts when you see someone like striker also with low work rates or low high work rates. Like, what does he do even in the attack? Then that's the big question. Then, but yeah, wanted to ask you about the penalty, the Everton penalty.
The one that they didn't get, or the one that we didn't get?
The one that Saliba basically yeeted Barry with his leg. That one.
Yeah, I mean it's a pen. I mean, like we definitely got away with something, and that could have changed the entire trajectory of the game. So I don't want to hear anyone talk about, the refs are out to get us. You know, can't use that one. You know, granted, did you think that the handball incident, I guess like by the Evertonian defender, did you think that was a pen or no?
Well, I mean, come on, like you play volleyball on the pitch, you think you're Pickford basically for half a second, like that has to be a penalty. Like there are no excuses for that one, especially since our player is pretty much straight behind him, waiting to hit the ball. Well, hopefully on target. Let's just put it that way. Hopefully on target, because it was Calafiori, I think, who was there. Nobody else. But yeah, for me, that's Saliba one more.
So I mean, let me ask you. Do you think that like the referees are like have that incident in the back of their mind, thinking that I may have incidentally, like fucked up and not given a penalty, like in that scenario. So the next time that there is something questionable that could go either way, like a 50-50 kind of, decision, I'll make that decision in the inverse to kind of, like negate that erroneous mistake at the onset.
It feels that way. Sometimes it feels that way because you see maybe some not so harsh fouls or some incidents, and they get the worst punishment out of it. Let's just put it that way. It sometimes feels that way. Saying that, looking at how, especially in Premier League, it goes, you can have 3 different games, copy paste scenarios regarding fouls in the box, and depending on the referee or VAR, you will get either a penalty or foul on the attacker somehow, or it's genuinely gonna get ignored to the full degree. It's very weird like that for me personally, because there have been countless instances of this over the years, and kind of hard to understand where they draw the line. Let's just put it that way, for the consistency and decision making, because there are referees who would give that as a straight red, for example, and a pen. Someone gives just a pen. Someone basically just says, "Well, it's a foul, but it's nothing," or something like that. I'm not a ref. I'm not too qualified to talk about it. It's the fact that you see basically the same situations happen all across the world in football, and more often than not, you get one outcome, but somehow there is that gap of those, let's just say 10% of instances where it looks pretty much the same, but you get completely opposite result of it, for me personally. I just say it like that.
You're right. I feel you.
I wanted to ask you about this. Obviously, there are talks that Pep might leave, right? No, for lack of a better word, Pep might leave at the end of the season. There are rumors, but his contract still runs for 2 years. So after the season, for 1 more year, if I'm not mistaken. But there were talks that they're looking at Enzo Maresca, they're looking at this, they're looking at that. Somehow, Mikel Arteta was not that much mentioned. Only thing I saw was that Mikel Arteta wasn't explored as an option because he had signed a new deal at Arsenal, which now raises the question, when did they look at Arteta? Because he hasn't signed a contract since, well, last September, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep,
so
correct.
when did they look at him? Because it didn't look like Pep was going to leave.
The correct answer is, Robbo, they never looked at him.
Yeah, it feels that way.
It's, mind you, like this entire notion that every club in the world, or rather, like, would be begging at Arteta's feet to come manage their club is hogwash. I mean, it is like it is not only nonsense; it's nonsense on stilts. Like people say, "Oh yeah, well, he would go to Barca." Oh really? Mikel Arteta would go to Barcelona, where they just sacked a club legend in Xavi not too long ago. After Xavi had won the league with them, right? Yeah. I'm sure he would definitely take that on. There's one thing that I don't think a lot of folks understand. The reason why Arteta is not going to walk away, the reason why, rather, why he's not going to walk away quietly, because again, no one's going to walk away from a 15.6 million a year salary with also no accountability. I mean, like, that right there is probably like the golden ticket dream job that you could ever have. Get paid a shit ton of money and not be accountable for it. The reason why he's not going to a Real or a Barcelona, or even say like an Atletico Madrid or a Sevilla or Villarreal, the reason why he's not going to the top clubs in Germany, the reason why he's not going to the top clubs in France, like a PSG, like the reason why he's not even going to be even considered for the Rangers job in Scotland is simply because they would not give him the time of day, the money, and the patience that he has been so erroneously awarded here at Arsenal. And more importantly, the reason why he won't go to those clubs, so rather the clubs don't want him just for the reason alone that he's proven over the last 6 years that he can't get over the line despite having every resource and support in the book. That's the reason why clubs don't want him. The reason why he won't go to those clubs, his personal reason, is because those clubs will not put up with him, and it will destroy the facade and the whole narrative that he has been put up for time and time again, that he is this infallible, perfect individual that is incapable of making any faults, of making any wrongs. And, over at Barcelona, he would be gone in half a season. They would not wait until, we may have to wait until the end of the season to make a decision. They're going to be like, no, February, you're gone. You know, like the same would occur at Real, the same would occur at Bayern, the same would occur at pretty much every club that actually gives a shit about getting over the line. So I mean, like, so it's certainly twofold, and I would honestly not be surprised. Again, I think it's entirely reflective of why we have been hearing what we have been hearing, like regarding like Arteta. Somehow, surprisingly, all of a sudden doesn't want to stay long term. Doesn't want to stay, you know, like forever and ever. I mean, like, which we also know is cap. Um, at the end of the day, you know, like Arteta wants comfort. I would not be surprised if he goes into some type of, you know, like CBS media analyst, you know, like talking position. I wouldn't be surprised if he, you know, like landed a gig. I can tell you this: he's not gonna find a job in management. And everyone can take that to the bank.
But you know, why would they even look at him? That is the big question. All of a sudden, you hear these things come out that ooh, and everything that they looked at him, but they didn't look at him. Then Arteta all of a sudden is not a long-term solution, but he's been here for 6.5 years by the end of the season, and he is, after Pep, longest-serving manager at the club. Like, if that doesn't scream for you long-term, I don't know what will. There are very few managers in general, I would assume, in the world who are there for longer than 6 years, for the same amount Arteta has been here. So I don't know what they're doing with that one. Maybe he can go to Saudi with some nice money. Maybe Saudis would take him.
Brother, you think the Saudis are going to trust Mikel with £1 billion after he just failed, not doing anything with the £1 billion in England? If he were to if Mikel were to do that in Saudi, he would be decapitated somewhere in fucking Riyadh. We know this, you know. They do not play with with their funds, and like it is only the echo chamber narrative that exists within the Arsenal community that clubs around the world want this manager. No one wants this manager. No one does.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually like, will be interesting to see what happens to him, with him, and all that stuff after he's gone.
Yeah, and honestly, like I don't really even believe the whole like Maresca links either. To be very frank with you, like I think they got someone lined up, whether it's through like their City Group, network, whether or whether it's just like another manager. Whether it could be like I wouldn't be surprised if they would consider Vincent Kompany over over Maresca, just because like he was a former player of theirs, and a former captain of that too. So I don't I don't buy those rumors, and also I think the story had come out like in conjunction with Pep potentially leaving to take the Spain role after the World Cup. Was that right?
There was some talks about it, but Pep has said that he wants to, first things first, finish his last 18 months at City, so 2027 basically. So the question is, what's going to happen afterward? Let's just put it that way. Because for me, I would expect someone like Luis Enrique or Michel Sanchez or someone like that going to City at the end of the day.
Michel Sanchez, he was the manager at Girona, right?
Still is.
Oh, still is. Yeah. See, that's who I would expect, simply because he is already within that City Group family. He has already. He's already well known by the executives, and he was also playing a great style of football with Girona. After they had sold off all their players, so they had surprised La Liga significantly. I mean, of course they're doing ass right now, but that's only because they sold off all of their assets. And if anyone's wondering about this whole 115 crap, it was crap at the onset, but it would not come as a surprise to me that all the sales that occurred at Girona had offset all of the potential financial miscues over at City. They pretty much just moved move finances from like one account to the other. That's just my hypothesis of it. But yeah, I mean, like I don't see them taking Maresca. I agree with that. Like Michel Sanchez one though. I can see
Yeah.
that happening.
With City, it is the way. If there is a loophole, they will find it. Let's just put it that way. If there is even slight glimpse of a small, tiny loophole, they will find a way to exploit it to maximum advantage, and they will get away with it. I think worst case scenario for City, they will get a fine, maybe a point deduction, maybe if they're unlucky. That's about it. Let's just put
Hey
it that
Robbo,
way.
turns out I may have a new potential client, a new patient for London Colney Renal Center. I think you're too cruel with Arteta. Perhaps I misunderstand, but Arsenal finished twice, 3 times in a row. It is something. There are 20 teams in the league, and they compete with City. Well, let's just dispel a few things here. All right, we have now gone without winning the league for over 20 years. Okay, we have also spent over £1 billion under this manager, and all of the expenditures have occurred after he won his only trophy here, which was the FA Cup. We are, I think you would agree, Handler, we are a large club, or at least we advertise ourselves to be a large club, right? We are historically the third largest club in England based on success. For now, you're absolutely right. But to that end, as a large club, and you can put in the chat if you agree or not, we should be winning a trophy once a year to maintain our status as a large club that we are bringing in success on a repeated basis. The fact that we have gone on for so long, just even within this manager's tenure of not having silverware, the fact that we have gone on the last 20 years without winning the league is criminal. It is despicable. It is disparagable. It is everything heinous that you would not expect of a big club to do. And the fact that we are talking about finishing second 3 times in a row, that is not an achievement. That is only a reflection of mediocrity that that time and again we have failed to get over the line. And the only reason why us fans are forced to conduct autopsies every single year is because we're not getting over the line. Like 25 years ago, we were never talking about, like the granularity of things that occur in the back room and rather behind the curtains at Arsenal, simply because we were winning things. We did not have to assess to such microscopic levels what the problems are at this club, what we need to do to fix them, whether it's personnel, whether it's tactics, what have you. This manager is continuing to fail to get over the line. And there is nothing worthy of applause for giving someone every cheat code in the book to succeed, and he's still failing. It's like, Bravo, it's like honestly playing Grand Theft Auto 5. You have like unlimited money, you have invulnerability, you have invisibility, and somehow you're still dying.
That would be a skill and a half, to say the least. But let's be real, we are not competing only against City. Liverpool have been there all the way. They have broken off around April, something like that, but they have still been here. And last season, where was City? It was Liverpool who took the glory when we didn't. They capitalized on us.
And even just as well, just 3 months ago, Robbo, if you'll recall, like as the transfer window was ending, City was losing. Everyone was saying, "Oh, this is Arsenal's year." Everyone else is falling off. Yeah. Yep, I swear down, if we don't get over the line this year, we are going to be bantered into we're going to be bantered into extinction. We have to win silverware, and if this manager still has a job after this summer without winning anything, oh, there is a reckoning to be had.
Yeah, but it's actually insane to think even about, like, When I get that it may sound too harsh, but if it would sound harsh if we were, let's just say, Villa at the moment, to some
Mhm.
degree. Yeah, but we are not Villa, we are Arsenal, and we've been waiting for way too damn long to actually see anything at the end of the day. And it's not like we have balled the leagues alone. We have balled top four the year before before the 22-23 season when we needed a few points from the last 5 games and we finished fifth behind Spurs. And everything we usually crumble when it matters the most.
Mhm.
Semifinals are Arteta's Achilles heel somehow. In last 8 games, 2 draws, 6 losses with 3 goals scored, and that definitely doesn't do him any favors in general. Which doesn't convince me also for cup competitions, Carabao Cup, and everything else after that FA Cup. But we'll see. We will have to wait and see
Yeah.
because the penny has to drop at some point. Hopefully, it happens sooner than later. Let's just put it that way. Hopefully, it happens just sooner than later. But yeah, I think on this sour sweet note, we're gonna end today's stream. So let people know where they can find you and what you have in the plans,
Yeah.
because
There you
it's
go.
been a while since you uploaded or streamed anything.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely correct. So like I actually had a bit of a mare the other day because I had done a live, but either StreamYard had removed it or I had accidentally deleted it as I was editing it. So I had a massive nightmare there. So I was thinking about doing a live stream tonight actually, but that's still TBD. I just have to get into a better groove of it, really and truly. But apart from that though, Arteta Sexuals far and wide. You can come visit me at London Colony Renal Center. We are just right next to the training center. Can't miss it. It's a small little office cubicle, but we will pull your head out of Mikel's backside, and you can finally smell the fresh air that you have been missing out on for so long. Like at the end of the day, I don't want to be proven right. Like I don't want to be proven right that this manager is an incompetent buffoon and a moron. I don't want to be proven right seeing us go another year trophyless. I don't want to be right. I want to be
Yeah.
wrong, because if I am proven wrong, it means I am seeing silverware. It means that we are finally doing what we need to do as a big club. That's the only thing that matters. Like, and as I said to you before, like on this chat, on others, I don't care who the personnel is. I don't care who the manager is. It could be Walter White. It could be Daffy Duck. It could be anyone. Like they just
Heisenberg.
like
That would be nice.
they just need to get us over the line. And if they're not able to get us over the line, get new personnel who will. I
Yeah.
mean, it is truly as simple as that. And all these other excuses, all these other agendas, protecting players, protecting a manager that have repeatedly failed to do anything, and to earn such a stoic defense of their honor is tapped. It is tapped behavior. So if you're here sitting and listening to this thing, wow, this doctor's really on one. Come by the renal center. We can help you out.
Yeah, for sure. And also, you can find him at YouTube, on YouTube at America's Public Servant. Go click the link. It's somewhere in the chat. Should be in the title. I think I put it in there. Or
Bless you,
just search it, America's Public Servant. And yeah, people, thank you for your support. Like the stream, subscribe if you're new, and hopefully we're gonna see each other tomorrow. But for now, have a great week, and we see you soon. Peace.